Think Chihuahuas are just tiny, cute lap dogs? Think again. These little guys are full of surprises, and some of them might just make you reconsider bringing one home. From toilet training nightmares to their secret obsession with burrowing under blankets, let's uncover the truth about owning a Chihuahua. You can think of this video as an owning a Chihuahua reality check. If you've owned a dog before, you probably already know this. But if you're new to pet parenting, you need to be aware that dogs require effort. Some people call it training, but we'd call it a part-time job, especially when it comes to Chihuahuas. So the first section we need to talk about is common challenges with Chihuahuas. People love seeing the cute things small dogs do, like giving a paw, sitting, bringing a toy, and other simple commands. But when it comes to potty training a Chihuahua, it's not just difficult. It feels impossible, especially for someone new. You take them outside, they sniff, they stare at you, nothing happens. 5 minutes later, back inside the house, they go on the carpet. Why does this keep happening? Are they just being stubborn, or is there something else at play? Here's the thing, Chihuahuas aren't just being difficult. There's a reason behind their behavior. Unlike bigger dogs, Chihuahuas have tiny bladders. That means they need to go more often. But they can also hold it for a surprisingly long time. And that's the problem. If they don't see an immediate reason to go outside, they'll wait until they're back inside where it's warm and familiar. Now, the good news, you can train them if you outsmart them. The secret? Consistency. Of course, it's crucial to note that you should never yell at your Chihuahua puppy if they pee or poop inside the house. They'll likely misinterpret it, leading to an outcome you don't want. The truth is, Chihuahuas are stubborn, but they're also smart. If they realize that going outside equals treats and praise, they'll catch on fast. But if you're inconsistent, they'll train you instead. Now look, one of the most common issues Chihuahua owners face comes down to their size. They might be small, but in their heads, they're the size of a Great Dane, a Mastiff, or something just as massive. With this Napoleon syndrome in mind, Chihuahuas can be aggressive toward bigger dogs simply because they don't realize they're tiny. It's important to train them properly before someone eats them in one bite. So, socialization, socialization, and more socialization. And take this seriously, don't just throw them into the fire by introducing them to 5 dogs at once. Instead, go step by step. Some Chihuahuas are more introverted than others, so consistency will again play a key role here. It's crucial not to push them too hard, as that could have the opposite effect. Now, while we're on the topic of their size, we want you to picture the following scene. You're playing with your Chi in the living room. She brings you her toy. She gets mad when you take it from her because she pretends to be dangerous. Then she wants you to chase her. After 2 laps around your coffee table, she suddenly starts limping. You didn't expect that. You're not sure what to do. Panic starts setting in. What's happening? Did she break something? Is she in pain? And why does this happen so often? Here's the deal. Chihuahuas have fragile bones. A bad landing after jumping off a chair, that alone is enough to cause a serious injury. One of the most common problems is luxating patella, a condition where their kneecap shifts out of place, making it painful to walk. It's so common that more than half of all Chihuahuas experience it at some point, and sometimes they won't even act like they're in pain. They'll just stop using their leg. The solution? Monitoring and prevention. Chihuahuas are high-energy dogs. They run fast, jump high, and spin like crazy. Your job is to not let them overstimulate and to watch for even the smallest signs of potential injury. If you notice anything off, consult your vet. And yes, we know, vet bills can get expensive, especially when it comes to their dental problems. Bad breath, yellow teeth, and in some cases, teeth falling out. Their dental issues are a huge problem. But why? It all comes down to their size. Chihuahuas have the same number of teeth as big dogs, but crammed into a much smaller mouth. This leads to overcrowding, plaque buildup, and eventually gum disease. And here's the crazy part. By age 3, 4 out of 5 Chihuahuas already have dental disease. The best way to prevent this? Daily brushing. Yes, daily. Dental chews help, but they're not a replacement for real cleaning. Because here's the thing, if you ignore their teeth, you'll end up paying for expensive vet cleanings later. And now we've covered the health problems Chiz often face, except for one last thing, last but not least. If you know someone who owns a Chihuahua and doesn't live in Arizona, California, or Nevada, they'll probably tell you that blankets aren't a luxury, they're a necessity. You'll find your little Chihuahua burrowed under every possible blanket in your house like a professional hibernator. Why? Because they have almost no body fat and their thin coat does little to keep them warm. Unlike bigger dogs with thick fur, Chihuahuas lose heat fast. So before your new Chi arrives, be prepared. Sweaters and coats for winter, lots of blankets to burrow under, and keep their bed away from cold drafts. Well, you still want a Chihuahua? Here's what no one tells you. Walking a Chihuahua isn't just exercise, it's a drama show. Some days they sprint like tiny racehorses. Other days, they stop in the middle of the sidewalk and refuse to move, just staring at you like you've betrayed them. Then comes the question, how much exercise do they really need? Here's the thing, Chihuahuas and other toy breeds are not endurance athletes. They don't need miles of running, they just need movement. A long walk for a big dog is like an ultra marathon for a Chihuahua. Their little legs work overtime. Yes, you will find some exceptions, but these are few exceptions. Anyway, here's where it gets tricky. If they don't get enough exercise, they go full psycho mode, zooming around the house, chewing random objects, and barking at ghosts. And what can you do about it? Try to find the right balance. Daily walks, 15 to 30 minutes max. But be ready for, I don't feel like walking today. Tantrums or it's already over, moods. If it's too cold outside, a game of fetch inside works too. Watch for signs. If they start lagging behind or pulling a nope, I'm done, sit down protest, that's your cue. Moral of the story, Chihuahuas need movement, but they also know how to manipulate you into carrying them home. Be prepared for the most dramatic walks of your life. It's important to note that Chihuahuas can be great family dogs, but only in the right family. If your house is full of loud, chaotic toddlers, a Chihuahua is not the dog for you. We've talked about how they fit into family life, but what about single owners? Can they be left alone? Let's imagine. It's 8 a.m. Now you're about to leave the house. Keys in hand, coat on. You step toward the door, and then it begins. Your Chiquito starts losing their mind, pacing, whining, staring at you like you just told them you're never coming back. So can you leave them alone? Technically, yes, but will they like it? Absolutely not. Chihuahuas are not independent dogs. They're not the type to just chill while you're gone. They were bred to be companion animals, which means their entire world revolves around one thing, being with you. When you leave, it's not just alone time for them. It feels like an emotional crisis. It's a full-scale emotional crisis. If you work long hours, here's how to avoid a Chihuahua meltdown. Puzzle toys, treat dispensers, anything to keep them busy. Distraction is key. Gradual training. Start by leaving for 5 minutes, then 10, then 30, so they learn you always come back. They're tiny, dramatic best friends who hate being alone. And if you're gone all day, just know your neighbors will hear all about it. And here's where things get weird. Because if a Chihuahua does love you, you'll know because they'll show you. And by that, we mean be prepared to be covered in slobber. They have a licking obsession. The second you sit down, your Chihuahua is in your lap and the licking begins. Your hands, your arms, your face, they will not stop. This isn't just random, it's a sign of love, comfort, and sometimes anxiety. Some Chihuahuas lick when they're anxious, especially if they have separation anxiety. Some puppies lick their moms, and this habit never really goes away. But one thing is for sure, licking equals love. You're their human, and they want you to know it. But if it's too much, how do you fix it? Redirect them. Give them a toy instead of your face. Check for stress triggers. Licking out of anxiety is a sign something's wrong. And do not forget to moisturize. Yes, really. Dry skin attracts more licking. So now you're living with a Chihuahua that's attached to you, obsessed with licking you, and constantly by your side. But here's the kicker. You'll be doing this for the next 15 to 20 years, or at least 12 years. And that's the best part of having a dog like this. Chihuahuas are not short-term pets. If you get one, you're making a decades-long commitment. 15 to 20 years, that's longer than most careers, longer than some marriages. Small dogs tend to outlive big dogs, but Chihuahuas, they're on another level. With proper care, they can live nearly twice as long as larger breeds. But what do you need to think about? So now you know Chihuahuas aren't just pets. They're tiny, dramatic, long-term roommates who will follow you everywhere, obsessively lick you, and live for nearly 2 decades. Which means, if you're thinking about getting one, you really need to be sure it's the right decision. And that brings us to the big question, where do you even get a Chihuahua? Do you adopt one from a shelter or go to a breeder? A lot of people have strong opinions on this, but before you decide, let's bust some myths about Chihuahua, adoption, and buying. Myth number 1, there aren't any Chihuahuas in shelters. Most people think that Chihuahuas are designer lap dogs. If you want one, you have to go to a breeder. There's no way you'll find one in a shelter. In reality, Chihuahuas are one of the most common breeds in shelters. Why? Because people adopt them for the wrong reasons. They think they're low maintenance. They're not. They underestimate their big personalities. They don't train them, so they develop bad habits and end up abandoned. The result? Thousands of Chihuahuas waiting for homes in shelters and rescues. So what does this mean for you? If you're looking for a Chihuahua, check rescues first. You might find the perfect dog waiting for you. But what if you want a specific kind of Chihuahua? A puppy? A rare color? That brings us to the next myth. Most people think that if you want a Chihuahua puppy, you have to go to a breeder. Shelters only have older dogs. Actually, not true. Chihuahuas of all ages end up in shelters, even puppies. Why? Some backyard breeders dump unsellable puppies. Some owners surrender young dogs they weren't ready for. So what does this mean for you? If you want a puppy, check breed-specific Chihuahua rescues. You might be surprised. But let's say you do decide to go with a breeder. How do you make sure you're doing it ethically? That brings us to the next myth. Myth number 3, all breeders are the same. If a breeder sells purebred Chihuahuas, they must be legit, right? Keep in mind that not all breeders are created equal. There's a huge difference between responsible breeders and puppy mills. Signs of a bad breeder would be they typically won't let you see the parents or their living conditions, and they always have puppies ready to go. A good breeder prioritizes health over appearance, asks you questions to ensure you're a good fit, and provides ongoing support for their dogs. So, if you choose to buy, make sure to do your research. But here's the biggest reason why so many people are choosing to adopt rather than buy. Myth number 4, adopted Chihuahuas have more problems. Nope. Most shelter Chihuahuas end up there because of their owners, not because of anything they did. Common reasons for surrendering them include, I don't have time for a dog, or they bark too much. If you need a translation, these dogs aren't broken. They just need someone committed. So what should you do? Let's break it down. Adopt. If you want to give a dog a second chance, are open to different ages, sizes, or quirks, and want to avoid supporting bad breeders. Buy if you've done your research, found a good breeder, and are looking for a specific trait, like a show dog. At the end of the day, it's about finding the right dog for you. But if you can adopt, you might just find your perfect Chihuahua waiting for you right now. And here's the funny thing. What starts as a one-time commitment often turns into something much bigger. Because once you get one Chihuahua, something happens. You start wanting another, then another, until suddenly your life revolves around these tiny, dramatic dogs. One more won't hurt until you have 5. Chihuahuas are amazing, but before you start building a Chihuahua empire, make sure you're prepared for the time, cost, and training they require. That's why we recommend watching our detailed breed guide next. It's packed with everything you need to know before bringing one home.